Thanks for coming out. I'm really excited about the start of the season. We've been practicing for about a week now, and it's been really fun to get all the new players, new coaches in the gym, and to start to establish what this team is going to look like and what this team is gonna be like on the court this season. Really excited about all the new players that we have. They're starting to express themselves on the court and show what they can do, getting more and more comfortable being here and playing in our system. And so I'm just really thrilled with where we are. We have a bunch of new coaches on the staff, and the new coaches have certainly brought tremendous energy, incredible teaching, and they're very strong at the relationship building part of coaching. So so far at the start of the season has gone very well, and I'm excited about where we are and where we're growing to be. So.
Hey, Coach. You mentioned it already, the fact that you've got 8 new players, about half the coaching staff is new. Tell us about the process this offseason of trying to put all the pieces together, not just with the team, but with the coaching staff as well.
Yeah, it was a busy spring, to say the least. Once the season ended, and we knew that we had graduation, we knew that we had a lot of transition going. The spring really for me was about solidifying the roster. We went in the portal, and we were portaling, as we say in college athletics now, right? We were in the portal, spent a lot of time recruiting those kids, bringing them on campus, helping them understand the environment and what Rutgers has to offer. And the same thing with staff. Hiring is bringing in new staff members. It doesn't happen fast enough, right? So the spring and the early summer was really busy with putting all these additions together. I think our staff holdovers, NECA, and Impali, who transitioned into our chief of staff role, and Janine, Coach Janine Wazalewski, they were phenomenal in the spring in helping us solidify our roster, our playing roster, and also helping us bring in the new coaches. So it was a lot of work. It was busy. It was a lot of trips to the airport. I'll just say that. We were Newark Airport. I know that place like the back of my hand now. But in the end of the day, I'm really happy with how it all came together in terms of who we added, and like I said, it's been really good.
Coach, you mentioned it's 6 transfers, 5 returning players, 2 freshmen. How did you find the right combination of experience and players?
Yeah, it's I think it's more an art than a science, and like I said, I think Neka and Janine. That is a cool name, Janeka. I do need to start calling that. Janine and NECA and I, we really wanted to be intentional about bringing in people who could continue to grow our culture. We were also very intentional about making sure we got the right pieces. And one of the things that I'm excited about is we kind of have, when you look at our roster, number one, we've got depth. We've got the biggest roster that we've had since I've been here. In terms of 13 players, and we've got folks in their natural positions. So I think that ability to have people play in their natural positions is going to bode well for us this year.
Last year, the long run in the WNIT, what did that mean for the program and building that up?
Yeah, I think it was important for us to get back to postseason play, and certainly for the returning players. It gave them a taste of what playing in March is like, right? And biting that apple, they came back in the off season, really, really excited and hungry about doing it again and being a part of March Madness. So you want to be playing it. If you're a college basketball player, you want to be playing in March. You want to be playing as far into the spring as you can, and us being able to go into the WNIT and win some games and get the crowd and get the fan base excited about postseason play is something that they'll remember and want to experience again.
This new
administration on campus. What's your relationship like with Kelly Zinn and President Tate, and what's their message to you since they've gotten on campus?
Yeah, we have amazing leadership at this university, and it starts at the top with President Tate. Kelly Zinn is, she's absolutely incredible so far. In terms of what her focus is and how she's supporting us as coaches. I have a good relationship with both of them. They support and they love women's basketball. They want to see us be successful, and they're doing everything they can to make sure that we are, as women's basketball, we're in a position to be our best selves. But I think all the coaches, feel that same sense of excitement around how they're going to support the coaches in their various endeavors to be successful. So I think it's one of the most exciting times to be in college, be in athletics here at Rutgers, because the leadership is in alignment and the leadership is passionate about the coaches and the programs being successful.
Coach, obviously you have to adjust to your new kids and they have to adjust to you. Mm-hmm. How different is it with the new coaches interacting and finding out, they have to find out what they have to do and what you want them to do?
Yeah, it's funny because we were just talking this morning that, yesterday was our 3-month anniversary as a coaching staff. We've only been together for 3 months. But it's going well so far. And, when you bring in dynamic individuals who are best in class at what they do, and when you talk about Shannon LaBeouf, and when you talk about Sean LaBeouf and his defensive prowess, and you talk about Shannon and her mentorship and her relationship building and her ability to get the best out of the forwards that she coaches. When you talk about Danny Edwards, who was an outstanding college player in her own right, who brings such tremendous energy to point guard play. And then you talk about James, who's such a great support for all of the coaches in his role, and then Janine, she was a head coach in her own right. They all are best in class at what they do, and so when you have all of that together in that room planning, I think you see it on the court in terms of how we connect with the players, how we guide the players, how we mentor the players, how we're in the boat. Rowing in the same direction, and it's still early, it's still young. Like I said, we just had our 3-month anniversary yesterday, and figuring it out. But where we are at this point is really good, and I feel really, really good about how we're going to continue to grow as a coaching staff.
All right, Coach, you mentioned you had a long laundry list that you started on after the buzzer up in Buffalo. You filled a lot of them. What are you most excited about that, hey, we really got that ticked off of our list?
I think without question, we got a point guard, Kayla Ivey and Lawrence, and actually we got 2 of them, right? So we got Kayla Ivey and we got Lauren Swan, and we finally have a true point guard here, and I think their leadership on the court, the way they're driving this train, has been really, really good so far, and I think it's only going to get better. The more practice we have under our belt, the more time they have under their belt to get better. But for me, it's the fact that we have a point guard and we have strong leadership on the court, a strong leader on the court to drive this thing.
The players improve hopefully from year to year.
Mm-hmm.
When you stood here 3 years ago and changed, how different a coach are you?
How different a coach am I? That's a really good question, because in so many respects the game has changed so much. College athletics has changed so much. How you build a team has changed so much, and so that impacts in a lot of ways how you want to coach. When you have a team that maybe is not going to turn over for 3 or 4 years, then you got a little bit more stability, right? And you got players that walk, when you start the new season, you got 2 newcomers, but everybody else kind of knows what they're doing. Now when that roster is turning over year to year or every 2 years, it changes a little bit how you introduce stuff, what you can run, your ability to know what your team can do, So when you return a team and you've got 10 returning players and you've got 3 or 4 returning starters, you kind of know what you got coming in the door. And when you flip a roster and you've got 8 new players or 10 new players, that kind of changes how you look at things, how you get your team ready, how long it's going to take, how quickly are people going to adapt. And so the change to me has come more because of the change in college athletics and how you have to navigate and get through the way that you build your team and build your roster.
Let me ask you about some of the returners who played the biggest roles last year. Antonia coming off an injury. Zakara started to put it together towards the end of the year. Janae earned time down the stretch too. What have you seen from each of the 3 of them and the comeback and also trying to grow off of last year?
Yeah, I think starting with Antonia, the fact that she's healthier, the healthiest she's been, I think since high school. She finally had the surgery and got her knee together. So now she's playing a little bit more freely and not, worried about is something going to happen to my knee. So we've been able to see that confidence, the confidence in your body, right? When you don't have confidence in your body, sometimes you play tentative. So the confidence that she has in her body now, she's gotten a lot better over the summer. She's shooting the ball better than she's had since she's been here. So really excited about her growth and her development. Janae Walker, she took fitness as a huge thing this off season. When you guys see when they come in here, you're going to see that she's in the best shape she's been in since she's been in college, allowing her to run the floor faster, play with more confidence, finish. She's just in better shape and better conditioning. And so what she can do, you're able to see it now. She doesn't have the not being in tip-top conditioning being an issue for her. And then Zakara Perkins, you're right. She was, we had to play her in a bunch of different spots last year. She's come back with the confidence having played in the Big Ten. You play all those minutes in the Big Ten. There's a measure of confidence that you have in that. But she's also worked on her game a little bit, and you can see the offensive capabilities that she has, and she's taken another step in that direction in terms of shooting the ball, finishing with contact, making plays off the dribble. She was in the gym. You can tell she was in the gym, and she's taken steps in that direction.
You kind of touched on this already, but in the nature of the portal, where you're bringing in a lot of players with experience who played in a lot of different systems, how do you maintain the core pillars of what you want to build as a program?
Well, part of that is recruiting. So you try to go find players who fit the way that we want to play, and we want to be an up-tempo team, and we want to be able to be aggressive defensively. So you have to go find people who can play the style and play the way that we want to play, and I think we were able to do that.
Faith Blackstone has significant college experience, and it seems like she's grown everywhere she's gone and as her career has progressed. Can you talk about her importance and especially her efficiency scoring the ball?
Yeah, Faith is a knockdown shooter, and she can score in a variety of different ways. She definitely can shoot the ball very well, but she also has good speed and quickness, at that guard spot, and good size. I think that's one of the things that I like about our team this year is we have positional size. We have size at the guard spot. We have size on the wings. We have size inside, and Faith is somebody who brings some size at that guard spot, along with her shooting ability and her speed that she plays with.
Sorry, I got another broad question for you.
Okay.
Let's just talk generally about the forwards, because you graduated some of the key pieces from last year. Freshmen like Precious, the 2 NJIs, Amani. What have you seen from all of them in putting that big room together?
Yeah. So first of all, I learned that their names are pronounced Jai.
Just Jai.
Yeah. I kind of like Jai. I'm still working on it, but the N is silent. That's the one part I do know. The N is silent. So. I really like our forward crew. So when we talk about Janae and Precious and Imani and Yaya, they are number one, they're all pretty athletic. They get up and down the floor well. They rebound the ball well, and they all can score in various ways. You know, we have we have the power and we have the finesse, so to speak. We have a little bit of both, and I like the way that they have. The great thing about they work. You know, they get in the gym. They're in the gym before practice. They're in the gym after practice, and they're working on being better players. So, you know, I like that they have the versatility, and we have pieces that we can move around and play in different spots. You know, it's hard to replace a Destiny Adams. You know, I mean, she can go out and get 30 and 20 on any given night. So, you know, you don't replace her. Or we're not looking to replace her with one player, but I think the combination of the four of them will be able to be impactful, and we've got the pieces, the versatility where we can play mix and match who we're playing together to really be dynamic down in the post for us.
The other freshman you guys brought in, Michaela Moore, was a bit of a late commitment in the process, I guess.
Yeah.
How did that all come together, and what are you looking for her to bring to the team?
Yeah. So Michaela's a New York kid, and, you know, we were out recruiting in the spring, and, you know, she was still playing with her club team, and, you know, she just kept, you know, caught our eye. Like, we would all be like, man, that Michaela kid, and we all thought she was, didn't know that she was a 25. You know, we all thought she was a 26. And then when we found out she was a 25, and, you know, knowing that we could use another guard to add some depth, because, you know, still want to make sure that we have the type of depth that we need, and you never know what's going to happen in terms of injury or anything like that. And so it came together pretty quickly. She came on her visit, and, you know, she decided she wanted to come join us, and she really gives us some more depth at that guard spot. Thank you, guys.